Hello everybody, and welcome back to a new What If on the channel. Don't worry, the current What If Disney movies were canon is still being worked on as we speak. But, doing this along with it will help me make the stories better and release the videos at a better pace. So, without further ado, let's get right into the story. For this What If, of course, you might be able to tell from the title or the thumbnail, it is going to be What If Roshi raised Goku instead of Grandpa Gohan. Of course, What If Roshi raised Gohan being the real title. This has been done before by several What Ifers, so make sure to go check them out if you haven't seen them. But this is going to be my take on the story. We go back to before the destruction of planet Vegeta. A low-class warrior named Bardock takes his youngest son and places him into a Saiyan pod, sending him off to a planet. Him along with the rest of his race are surely then destroyed by Frieza's attack. The explosion of this planet sends debris throughout the surrounding area into the space, with a small piece of the planet hitting the Saiyan pod, sending it off its original course. On Earth, an elderly man is placing a VHS into his TV to enjoy some exercising, before he hears a large crash outside. He goes outside where he is greeted by a large wave approaching his island. He then charges up a small Kamehameha to stop it before it crashes into him. Turtle, Master Roshi's friend on the island, says he sees something out in the water. Roshi has Turtle go retrieve the small object, with him being confused by the technology of it. Before he's able to think much more, the pod opens, revealing a small baby inside. At first, Roshi doesn't know what to do with the child, thinking maybe he can give it to one of his more younger students, before remembering that Ox King already has a daughter, and Gohan lives more secluded than himself. Then he thinks about how the kid could be a real chick magnet for when he goes to town. Who doesn't like a hot grandpa? He thinks before grabbing the child out of the pod. Kakarot, or as we know him, Goku at this point, is much like his younger self, with the debris that knocked him off course causing him to have lost his memory much like he did when he fell off the cliff as a baby. As he grows up, Roshi does teach him in the way of the Turtle School, allowing him to do some minimal training on the island or when they go to town. Of course, I don't know if Roshi would name him Goku or not because of the simplicity of it. We're just going to be calling him Goku from here on out. This would cause Goku to be pretty much the same strength as he is in the original Dragon Ball. His life with Roshi on the island stays pretty much the same until Bulma comes around, but this time she is not alone. Bulma lands on the island with Grandpa Gohan with her on the adventure. This has the master and student have a short reunion with Gohan being surprised that Roshi now has a child, though Gohan is happy to see that the Turtle School will have a new generation. Roshi then asks what brings the two of them to his island, while Goku and Bulma introduce themselves. Bulma then goes over to Master Roshi and asks if he has a Dragon Ball, as she holds out the 4-star Dragon Ball that Gohan gave her before. Roshi then goes inside and brings out his necklace, which has a Dragon Ball at the end of it, and asks what this girl wants with them. She then blushes and says she wants to make a wish on them and not going much more into detail. Roshi then looks over to Gohan with him nodding before Roshi looks over to his newest student. He then tells Bulma that if he gives her this Dragon Ball, she has to let Goku go on this journey with them along her and Gohan. She hesitates at first before looking at Gohan, and he says that it sounds like a perfect plan. The group then prepares to leave, with Goku telling Roshi goodbye and that he'll be back soon. Roshi waves back to Goku, hoping this journey will allow his student to grow much more than he does on the island. The journey goes pretty much the same as we see it in the original timeline from there, where they go to a town and save it from Oolong's treachery, and arrive in a desert where they meet a bandit. Though this time, Goku has eaten a lot more with Gohan being there and is able to defeat Yamcha, and the bandit actually decides to go along with him sooner after seeing Gohan and learning that Goku is the newest student of the Master Roshi. With the group being this large much more sooner, and having the wise Gohan, the story goes much smoother than it originally does, with the group then needing a Dragon Ball from the Fire Mountain where Gohan meets his old friend Ox King, and the two of them are able to put out the fire without Master Roshi. Goku sees the Kamehameha from Gohan and is able to quickly mimic it much like he does in the original series. Goku also meets Chi-Chi, and due to living with Master Roshi, who always wants to please the ladies, agrees to her request. Chi-Chi is happy hearing this, along with Ox King also being happy, since he is another member of the Turtle School. Bulma then is able to make her wish for a lifetime supply of strawberries without having to deal with the Pilaf gang due to the group being much larger and stronger at this point. Goku then returns home and tells Roshi of his journey. Roshi is glad that his student has made such more friends and has met his other students, though he is sad to hear that the Ox King isn't keeping up with his training and Gohan is doing much better. Roshi says Goku made it home just in time to start training for the Budokai Tenkaichi. He tells Goku he can finally teach him the Turtle School technique before Goku then turns around and fires off a Kamehameha easily. Roshi is surprised that Goku was able to learn this technique so quickly, and says maybe he can go straight into more experienced training. Shortly after they start their training, another kid arrives on the island, and with some convincing he allows Krillin to train under him. The next training the two of them have to do is the one where Roshi draws a symbol on a rock and throws it into a nearby jungle, and tells the two of them to bring it back to him before dinner. Though unlike in the original story, this goes into night where a full moon shines down above them. Goku climbs into a tree to get a better viewpoint before he looks up and starts to transform into an Ozaru. Krillin, scared for his life and not knowing what's happened to Goku, runs to Roshi, with him being surprised at this as well. At this point in the story, due to Roshi's schedule, he hasn't really had to deal with Goku's transformation. This is also true for the hunt of the Dragon Balls due to not being trapped by Pilaf on the full moon night. Roshi tries to knock out the beast before noticing the tail and finding out that this is his student Goku. Roshi then remembers a time where Goku's tail was hit and he almost passed out due to the pain, deducing that it is the weakness. With Krillin's help, he is able to have Krillin grab the tail and Roshi knock him out. Roshi then takes the knocked out Goku back to the Kame House, where he tells Krillin of his peers of his alien origin. He then asks Krillin if he noticed why Goku might have transformed. Krillin tells Roshi that all he knows is they were looking for the rock and then he transformed. Roshi, worried by this, decides to make sure that he is present in all their training from now on. This training continues until the time of the Budokai Tenkaichi comes around, where again Roshi enters as Jackie Chun, hoping that he can still teach Goku and Krillin that there is someone much stronger than the both of them. This time though, the roster is a little different from the one in the main timeline. Due to seeing the Turtle School starting up again, both Ox King and Gohan started taking on new students, with Ox King training his daughter Chi-Chi and Gohan taking Yamcha under his wing. Gohan decides to answer much like Roshi, with him replacing Bacterian and Chi-Chi replacing Ranfan from the original roster. The first match of the Budokai Tenkaichi will be Krillin vs Yamcha. Krillin has heard about the Desert Bandit from the stories Goku told him about the hunt for the Dragon Balls. The two of them are pretty evenly matched, with them both being taught in the Turtle School way, with Yamcha being a combo of it in his wolf style techniques. I think due to having this been trained longer, it would be Yamcha that beats Krillin in this first matchup. The second match would be much more interesting, with it being Gohan versus Jackie Chun. Gohan is able to see through his disguise, but decides to say nothing, knowing that Roshi must have a reason for this. The match between the two of them is a great one, with them both going all out, and the crowd is amazed by their techniques and speed. The match ends with the two of them firing off a Kamehameha each, with a large explosion showing the stage is destroyed. Once the smoke is cleared, it is shown that Jackie Chun is still standing. He helps his former student Gohan up, thanking him for a great match, and Gohan says that he will have to start training more. With the stage now destroyed, the tournament is then paused for repairs before the next match can start, with the next match being Chi-Chi versus Nam. And that is where this video will end off. In the next part, we'll be going over the rest of the tournament saga and going into the rest of the original Dragon Ball story. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and if you did, make sure to go down below and give this video a like, and subscribe if you haven't so far. Also, if you enjoy my stories, my what ifs and stuff, you might also like my art, which is all in the description down below. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye.